Okay, I've using the file, I have shaped the throat of the guard that fits into the top part of the tang leading into the blade ricasso area. So, sorry, that way around. So what I need to do now is I'll just test fit it, see how far down I can get it. Because it's brass, you can actually hit this and it will almost mould to the shape of the tang. Been held in place by the vise with the towel on either side to prevent any damage to the steel. Now what I need to do is, where's the top? So it's the front. That's how far down I can get it. There's a good 5 to 8 mil space there. So now I need to hammer this down without damaging it. So good piece of wood. Okay. Just make out it's pretty darn close. There's probably about 0.5 millimeter of a gap on either side there. There you go, you can just make it out there, and the other side. So I need to take off just a little bit more of metal around the curved area here and there. Because what I might do is when I shape the guard, because this is not the final finish of the guard, I've got more designing to do on that. Once I do that, it'll be slightly thinner. I may be able to manipulate it just a little bit more to fill in those gaps by tilting up just slightly. So I don't want to mess with the corners anymore. I don't want to mess with the neck here, the top part of the tang and where it meets the blade, because I've got that rounded off nicely. So I can probably just tilt the sides of the guard just up to fill up that hole. Okay, this is cut and shaped just before cold forging. And this is after cold forging. You can see the hammer marks at the top there. Knew this would happen. Alright, to stop it moving, I've got it rested on the actual vise, so it's not going to tilt any further than this. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to replicate the steel flint from the blade on the side of the guard here. What I'm doing is creating a series of score marks which I'll use as a guide when I grab the larger file. Now, in case you're wondering why I don't use a Dremel or a power tool, with this I can control what I'm doing much easier. With brass, because it's so soft, with the power tool, if you were to just accidentally slip, you just scratch the living daylights out of it and you could cut grooves where you don't want it. So I prefer with softer metal like this to take it easy and just enjoy the process. I think I want to get rid of that one there. It's just protruding just a little bit too much. That one. So I'll trim that one down. What I'll do is I'll use a smaller file for that. Alright, sharp edges but nothing that really catches you. Okay, now what I'm doing is I'm looking from the front and the back. I'm looking for something that stands out as being not quite right. Okay, I could use a little bit there. And that point there. Not sure if you can see it, but if you look at the shadow up there, see that? That one's just protruding just a little bit too much. So I just trim that one down still a bit more. That's that one sorted. Now get rid of those sharp edges. Sanding. Okay, I've found another one. Probably can't see it, but right there is another high point. Okay, so most of the coal forging has been done, and there as well, that one's slightly wider, but we'll see how it looks after the steel flint work has been finished. But yeah, so I still need to do this side, but the other side's pretty damn close to complete. From that to that. It's weird. I'm here on working quite hard to get these things made up, including the knife and everything. And I have power tools. I have a small amount of power tools. I've got benchtop drill. Some people call them pillar drill. If they're freestanding, but I've got the benchtop model. I've got a bandsaw, which I had to wait a week or so for blades because the cheap blade broke. I've got a 2x, I think it was a 38-inch belt sander, which a friend of mine's lent me. It's not actually mine, it's a loan. I've got my 1x30 here, and I've got an angle grinder, another cheap belt sander with a grinding wheel and a buffer and grinding wheel. And I've got a battery operated drill, and recently I bought a cheap Dremel. It's not actually a genuine Dremel, it's the cheaper Chinese version because I can't afford much. But I've heard on a grapevine through someone that another YouTuber has been bitching about me, offline of course, you know, hasn't got the guts to come and say it in the comments, that I cheat, that I make my blades using all my power tools, then pretend to do it by hand. I don't pretend to do stuff by hand. When I do stuff by hand, I do it by hand, and I don't appreciate that sort of bullshit from people who are too gutless to even say anything. I know who the person is. I won't say who it is, because if they're that shallow, well, they're not going to get very far in life. Sometimes I use power tools, sometimes I use hand tools. I use power tools if I can. Other times I use... Well, you guys know what I do, so I don't have to explain myself, but it just pisses me off when someone goes around saying shit like that.